Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. My name is Dan. This is
Welcome back to Dan Loves to Chat.
Dan Loves to Chat.
Okay.
That's good for branding. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am here with my dear, very best, unfortunately for both of us. No, I'm just kidding. Friend Brenda Cullerton, a world-renowned New York City socialite.
Oh, fuck you. No, cut that. Cut that. I am not a socialite.
I was kidding. I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
I was kidding. Okay. You're a fantastic socializer.
That's different than being a socialite.
Absolutely.
Lite.
You're a social heavy.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway.
You nailed it.
There we go. There. Okay, I've introed us.
And that's really aspirational for me. That's what I've always wanted to be.
Okay, I'm a comedian. I'm a food video person. That's what I would say about myself. Brenda is a writer, actress. I don't even know what's the contemporary
Actor these days, they say.
Actor.
You know, God forbid it should be feminized.
Hey, it's your world, all right?
I'm a girly.
You're a girly. I'm just in the microphone. Yeah. No, the girlies are, by the way, are microdosing mushrooms a lot. There's nothing more girly, I would say, these days than doing.
Well, that's quite a transition.
Microdosing mushrooms.
Okay. Crazy transition, but I'll buy it. I'm listening to it.
But none of them go deep. None of them, like, if you ask a girl, okay, this is what I found. If you ask a girly who microdoses mushrooms, like, they're like, I love microdosing mushrooms, but I'm like, do you ever take a lot of mushrooms? They're like, oh, God, no. oh, God, no.
Well, I guess that's the end of that friendship for you.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't want to know yourself?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to know yourself.
It is funny that a little bit of mushrooms, though, is very enjoyable, but a lot, and you really have to, you love this, right? This is what
Do you know how many times I've ever had this fucking discussion with you about mushrooms, and ayahuasca, and psychonauts, or whatever that term is of yours?
It's different.
A lot.
It's different. It's, okay.
No, I know you're loving it. That's all I know.
I was
completely changed your personality.
Has it?
No. At least not that I can see, dude.
So I've done a lot of soul journeying, exploring in the last year and a half. And how much would you say that it's changed my personality?
Well, you know, obviously...
Only in that I talk about it now.
Because that really is the major topic of conversation, okay, is these fucking drugs you're doing. At least you're off the kit. I mean, I find that wildly reassuring that you were suckered into that package deal up there at that Medi-Clinic, as they call it, okay?
Yeah.
6 for what,
well,
$700?
We both had the therapeutic ketamine. I don't want to, I'm sure for some people it works wonders.
I've never had I've never had therapeutic.
No, but we both were thrown off that when I got the text. So I did some some like medically supervised ketamine treatments, and then I showed you the text where they said like summer sale, get 3 treatments for the price of 2, and I was like, this isn't medical.
That was the end of that legitimacy. Totally. You know,
it was no different than the call that I've been getting from Manhattan Mini Storage telling me to rent a unit now while they still last. Come get healed now while you still can.
Come get healed.
Yeah.
In a storage unit.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, talking about the storage unit, I mean, this was one of the things I've been thinking about since, I went to visit an age-inappropriate friend this week in their apartment. And it ties into what we were talking about before, the fact that you can't get a meal after 9:15 at night, New York City, right? And the visit, I mean, it was a fabulous apartment. Beautiful windows, plenty of light, fancy bathroom. The amenities is what's killed New York City fucking nightlife, okay? And restaurants, the amenities. This was a place that had a dog. I mean, why would you ever go outside if you had a dog run in your building, a gym in your building, a coffee and Kahlua clutch Friday afternoons at like 5:30, a small plunge? There'd be no reason whatsoever to ever leave your home. And so my theory is, you are all living like geriatric shut-ins, not because of COVID, but because amenities have made it so tempting to just sit there. Or, to go and pump some iron or whatever those expressions are that you do in a gym for wellness, D.
Yeah. Wellness.
That and apps. I mean, that's the other thing. I don't know if this friend's building had it, but I've read since that, there's a residential chef who might come in twice a month. It's just, I mean, all I know is that when I looked for an apartment, yes, in 1922, the only amenities I cared for or cared about was hot water and heat. And a roof over my head, period. I mean, I have to walk to, Albania to get to my bathroom. En-suite. I don't know when the fuck they invented this en-suite thing. But suddenly, nobody wants to be in an apartment building if they don't have an en-suite bathroom. And I just
What does that even mean, really?
It's fascinating. Well, I guess it means it turns your bedroom into a suite because there's 2 rooms in it. I don't know. Some
What is an
realtor
en-suite?
made it up.
What is an ensuite?
They say this is they now call it the principal bedroom.
Not the
principal,
master bedroom.
exactly,
Sorry.
ensuite,
We'll bleep that
which
out.
means the bathroom is part of the. But the thing that was the most ironic. So after I went to visit that building, I went out to Jesus Christ. I don't know where it was. It was so far flung Bushwick that I thought I was being abducted by the Uber driver. This was 5 kids in their 20s who are sharing a first floor apartment. With no amenities, like 0 amenities.
No ensuite?
But no ensuite. But the thing that was wonderful was that they were so exuberant and so enthusiastic. I mean, this was it was 14-degree weather out there. Okay?
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be doing some skit with them or whatever. So to compare, your age, 30-year-olds, let's say, okay? Looking for a place to live. This dump out there in the fucking middle of Bushwick just proved to me that people do come to New York because they really want to be here.
Sure.
Even if they're living in, you know what I'm saying, in a flat sharing it with 5 other dudes in the middle of fucking nowhere. I mean, go figure. I think that I think it's terrifying. I do, because I also think that when you actually go outside, the only place you ever go to is a cafe. You go to a coffee shop, right? And you bring your frickin' computer and you sit there with those earmuffs or whatever they're called. Not earmuffs, but which completely eliminates any possibility of interacting with another human. I mean, it's
even
a
when
signal
we
that
go
says,
out, we want to just be inside.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly right. You want to be inside yourself
all
the time. And I don't know whether this is part of,
We'd bring a portable cubicle if we could.
It's like a pod, an invisible pod. And I don't know if this is called mindful living. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't know
anyway.
where you got that
What
one.
does mindful living
Well,
mean?
you're living more mindfully.
What does that mean? No, you're just repeating the word, Keith. What is mindful? Living mindfully. What does that mean?
Isn't that a magazine?
Oh, my God. Where the hell have you
Mindful
been?
living would be, I think, sort of an umbrella term for living with wellness in the mind.
Well, there's another oxymoron. Wellness
I still
in the
haven't
mind.
said anything.
Love it.
I would say mindful living, I don't know, meditating. It's like a catch-all for steam rooms and cold plunges and,
And doing that
being in
thing,
the present.
What do you call it? Manifesting.
Mindful
May I
living-
take a moment to manifest? I love that. I heard it at comedy. No fucking idea what that means. A moment to manifest.
Well,
No, you may
yeah.
not. Take a moment. Anyway, I guess it's all part of the self-care movement.
So your point is that the 5 schleppers out in Bushwick are actually much happier?
Yeah, well, not happier. They're more engaged with the city. They really are.
So were you worried that no one actually wanted to be here and we were all just insulating ourselves against the public? But yet then you were re-inspired because these 5 people in Bushwick were sharing one toilet and had to shower
and because
in the hallway?
they're not living hermetically.
Yeah.
You're like hermits. I mean, I hate to tell you, but even like when you go out to the gym, you're still wearing the earmuffs, okay? I mean, you're surrounded by other
point.
people. But
even when we go outside, we don't even go outside.
no.
Yeah.
You're in your own fucking head all the time. And I think
Technology through Amazon and Apple were able to, and Caviar and Uber Eats.
Yeah,
we're
all
able
the
to live-
apps. No, and dating. Those
dating.
apps, too.
We live all the experiences that we were meant to live out in the world in our own apartments and in our own heads.
Yeah, I think
Because it's safer and more
safer.
and
But what do you
cleaner.
mean safer? What does
I'm
that
not
mean?
justifying it.
No, but I'm just curious
Brenda,
about...
let me remind you that 4 or 5 years ago, I used to go make videos about factories, okay? And I also, whatever.
Look, no, you interact. You do comedy. You're live up there in that
Yeah.
spotlight.
I'm naked.
You are. You're raw. 4
Can you
nights a
start to
week.
tell when you know someone who's starting to get into, like, is it just when they start making money? When they start making
Well,
real
first
money?
of all, to live in the kind of apartment that I'm talking about, you have to be making money. There's no question, because the rents are insane. But I mean, I think this is the other irony, is that people won't live anymore without these amenities, and then they complain about the fact the city is unaffordable. Well, of course it is. I mean, when you've got builders who are the dregs of the scum of the earth, is all I can say. Building, they're doing it for their demographic. They're building what people want. So they're charging $7,000 a month for a room and a half, whereas these guys out in Bushwick, still paying way too much, but not looking for amenities. The town, the city is the amenity, the luxury,
that's true.
So I think so.
How do you feel about amenity? What if you were looking for a new apartment? Would you want amenities?
Well, that's the problem. I've gotten very old, okay? And so once upon a time,
oldness is a mindset.
I was revolted and repelled by anyone who lived uptown. I really was. I thought it was the most insular existence. It was full of nothing but arrogant snobs with too much dough. Well, I'd give my eye tooth now, actually, to live in one of these apartments that were built, turn of the century. Do you know that the reason why there is no sound in these apartments, why you can actually hear yourself think, is that all the walls were filled with sand. Sand is what absorbs the noise. In these clapped-out dumps you're all living in now, look at the one that's swaying in the wind and falling apart up there on Billionaires Row.
Yeah.
They don't care. It's like flying. It's like flying. I mean, no, really, though. I mean, they forget to put the bolts in or the back door or whatever those whistleblowers were talking about 5 years ago with Boeing.
Yeah.
We're living with the results of that now. It's you take your life in your hands every time you're up there.
Time you hit,
hit
the elevator button.
The elevator button. Anyway, that was just a thought about why restaurants aren't open after 9:15.
Because
nobody's there. Nobody's there.
Nobody needs them.
Yeah, nobody needs them. It's a fascinating thing.
What is eyes tooth? You said you'd give your eyes tooth. Is that an expression?
My eye tooth. This is the eye tooth. Yeah.
Oh.
It is an expression.
The
I did not make it up.
I'm not saying you made it up.
Yeah, no, it's an expression. But there is a movement now, of course, of people moving back uptown, because all the rich people have moved to Palm Beach or Greenwich or they've died. A lot of death up there because they're old.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I wouldn't mind a few amenities. I certainly don't need a fucking dog run. Okay. And I don't need somebody organizing a coffee Kahlua Klatch or Kahlua, whatever it's called.
It's good to socialize.
Well, I guess that's the point.
It's very controlled socialization.
Yes, that's
you never really fail.
It is. It's so scheduled, so structured. So yeah, I guess because you're not eating coffee. You're not drinking coffee in the coffee shops. You're working with the things on your ears.
Well, technology removes friction, and it's friction that helps us be interesting.
Oh yeah, what the hell is life without conflict? It's not worth living.
Yeah.
You're discovering otherwise through your experience with many drugs. But I still believe in conflict.
I love conflict. I don't love conflict.
Yeah.
I think that I obviously get that it's somewhat important. So what would your advice be to
who?
35-year-olds? Take your headphones off?
Well, that would be for starters. But I'm certainly not the first person to say that. No, I just think that there is this, between mindful living, which we didn't really define very well, and this desperate need for amenities and luxuries, there's a bit of a contradiction in there.
Yeah.
There really is. I think, but I think it's fascinating, and I hate coming across, as an old lady who's whining. I really hate that.
I don't think anyone would accuse you of that.
Well, what I talk about, I'm usually pretty negative in this podcast, am I not?
Because, no.
Well,
I think you're helping people smell the roses.
the roses, really?
Nobody's smelling the roses these days. They're getting ChatGPT to tell them what the roses smell like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, I guess.
I don't think you get a lot of curmudgeon-y responses. I think people say, say,
how about, I mean, I wanted to mention this the last time, just to say how proud I am to be as old as I am. But when I get a comment that says she's got a face like a nutsack,
who said that?
Excuse me. That was a fucking comment last week. Or I love this one too. Has anyone suggested she iron her neck?
Yeah.
That's another one. Old hag. I mean, I guess anybody who does this stuff is open to...
Well, people want to be mean for the sake of mean sometimes, but I would say that generally the feedback on you has been that that you're a force for good, helping people open their eyes and not be so reliant on the comforts that make them uninteresting.
Maybe. I mean, well, nothing makes a person more uninteresting than being comfortable.
Yeah.
Nothing. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, which it relates to conflict. I'm not saying you should be in conflict all the time, but some conflict's very healthy. Yeah. You know,
It's amazing how comfort seeps in to start to make you uninteresting, though. Like even this thing. So I have some shit in my apartment that I don't want in there because it's some stuff I don't need. And I'm thinking I've
outgrown it.
I've outgrown it. I got to get it into a storage unit. And
another amenity.
well, I would love
Kidding.
to. No, it's an amenity. I would love to take it to New Jersey or something like that, where
Right.
you know, I would love to pay $20-$30 a month for a storage unit. You haul it out there.
Right.
Put it in Siberia, whatever. But it's so annoying. And then my building has storage units, but they're like $100 a month.
Oh, you can rent one in. Oh, there's another amenity.
And I'm like, I would never do that. I'm too much of a man. I'm not gonna succumb to the.
Oh, yes, you are.
And yesterday I was like, can I go see one of the storage units? You know what I mean? It gets to you. It gets to you. It seeps in.
It does. This is absolutely true. I mean, and it also. I mean,
My therapist, by the way, said that he said that you gotta. He's like, people need to really toughen up. He's like, I don't have time to explain this now, but I recommend that when you're going somewhere, get there early and get out of this subway a few stops early. Don't take your phone out and just walk it. And
Such a great idea.
And then he's like, I was like, why would you? I get what he's saying, kind of,
It's
but
a
I'm like,
brilliant
I wanted
idea.
him to answer. I was like, why would you do that? He goes, you figure it out yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. It's
Even
also
when
because
it's cold.
You're in some place that's unfamiliar to you.
Yeah.
So, you know, especially without a GPS, when you really have no idea. You know, again, being uncomfortable is what art is about. You know, it's nobody creates art who's comfortable. It just doesn't happen, you know? I mean, it which is part of the beauty, I guess, you know, of being someone who's a maker, as you people call it these days. God.
A maker.
A maker. You've heard that term,
Sure.
right? She's a maker. But no, your shrink is dead right. You know, I mean, I hope he's telling everybody that. Maybe he'll change. Because it's old news. You know, the fact that everybody's looking down at their. I mean, I walk down the street now, and I really am like a Karen. It's like, look up, look up.
You say that to people?
Oh yeah, look up, look at me. You know, no. Also because I have to spend half my life. Every human's become an obstacle, Daniel.
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy that every human, when you're on the street,
you're
is
really
a fucking
saying look
obstacle.
up?
Yeah. It's like, what have I got to lose?
What
You
do
know?
they say?
Nothing, because they don't even hear me. You know, they're wearing the fucking things and they're looking at their texting. So it's, you know, it's a futile gesture on my part, a futile exercise.
What would you do if someone was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, well, that would probably be, they would say, what do you mean? Look up.
Yeah.
I would stop and answer them. You know,
You'd say you're not opening your eyes.
Yeah, well, you know, you're a hazard. Number one, on the street. Number two, look what you're missing.
Yeah.
New York City, there's a lot to miss on the street. Yeah, there's a lot of life on the street. Some of it's terrifying, but not all of it. He's worth every penny of a grand. Your shrink. Every penny of a grand for 45 minutes. I'm kidding. Yeah, I wish that too. Yeah, I mean, that's the other
So
thing.
how do you sorry.
No, but I was just thinking, I mean, of getting off a couple of stops before and not using your GPS. the problem with me with GPS, I've gotten more lost with a GPS than I ever was without one. I can't follow those fucking arrows. I'm walking in one direction and suddenly it seems like I've missed the turn to the right, even though it's 4 feet away, my destination. I look like a lunatic when I'm using and finally I have to hail someone and say, hey, could you help me? Where's DeGraw Street? And usually it's literally, a 4-minute walk away.
I know, but the GPS will point you in the wrong direction.
It's dependence. It's being dependent on
it's
everything
so funny.
but yourself.
Every time you think you have any kind of original thought, people are like, yo, you mean a crutch? And you're like, yeah, that expression that people have been saying for however long crutches. Crutches.
Yeah.
I wonder how long from the first crutch did someone call something a crutch? That's a crutch. That's not a crutch. Oh, no, I was trying to use it as an expression.
Well, I remember telling you. Do you know what they used to call people who used crutches? Who were crippled? Am I allowed
I
to
meant
say
even
that?
for a broken ankle. But
yeah,
sure, yeah.
But they call them the halt and the lame. The name of the hospital in New York City where people get all of their joints repaired or hips replaced used to be called the Hospital for the Halt and the Lame.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty archaic in terms of branding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't really suggest a happy result.
Lame's pretty passive, though.
I don't think you can use that word lame anymore either.
People use
He's
it for
lame.
He's lame. But if you're lame, you can still be. You can come back from being lame.
You mean if you're a cripple?
No. I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, if you're lame. Like, lame is not that severe of a thing to call someone. I think you. I mean, if you are
I'm
lame,
talking about a physical disability.
well, there's a place
here.
you got to go to the hospital for the halt and the lame. And
they also used to call hospitals lunatic asylums. That wasn't a great thing either, which Trump is bringing back, from what I understand, on Monday. That was the news.
I'm just saying, if someone called me lame or a lunatic, I'd be like, I've heard worse.
Yeah, like your face is like a nutsack.
That is worse. Yeah. That's worse. So what is halt? Are they just not going anywhere?
Well, that's right. It stops here. You know what? I have never looked that up.
HAULT?
No, HALT.
Wow.
The plaque is still in the hospital. Sort of a gesture to the old days. Now it's called the Hospital for Special Surgery.
I think it's way worse.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. So do I. It's a euphemism.
Because at least it's not.
But you can't call a place a lunatic asylum anymore either, and I understand that it shouldn't be called a lunatic. What is it called?
Unless it's your parents' house.
What? Yeah, that's true. Unless it's a parent's house. What do they call a lunatic asylum now? A mental hospital? I don't think you can use that word, mental.
For special brains.
Yeah, especially yes. Let's not go into.
Well,
this.
neurodivergent.
Oh yeah, that's a new favorite of mine. I went to a play group 2 weeks ago with my grandson that was for neurodivergent and is it neuronormal? What's the other one called? You don't know?
I don't know. Neuronormalized. Neurotypical?
Normative. Neurotypical.
Yeah.
That was it. It's neurotypical and neurodivergent.
Yeah.
And I was just, they're 4 years old. Isn't this too much information? Do I need to know? You know what I'm saying?
What did you
I don't care.
You've had this issue where the kid asks you, the grandson asks you questions, right?
Yes. So he was not asking me what's neurodivergent. No, it's not that advanced. He would be a genius if he was asking that question.
He'd be neurodivergent.
Yes, exactly. He would be neurodivergent.
Yeah. Do you know there's a great product called NeuroGum that has a lot of nootropics to help you think better?
Back to the drugs again.
It's a
neurotropic?
Nootropics.
Nootropics.
That's the classification of supplements and stuff like that are meant to increase cognitive.
I've never heard it. That's like a probiotic. Is that a neuro?
A probiotic would be a nootropic for your stomach.
Okay. See, it's another thing you're into. It completely leaves me in the dark.
Would you describe me as susceptible?
Susceptible?
Yeah. Gullible?
Yeah, somewhat. You're a seeker.
There you go.
You're a seeker, D. That's the
seeker.
term one uses these days, I believe.
Yeah. We're all looking.
I'm not that.
The journey as a seeker is really to realize there's nothing to seek.
That's a fairly dismal way to look at it.
No, it's not.
There's nothing to seek. You mean just
you don't
live
have to
it?
Stop. Yeah, just live it.
Be present.
Be present.
Be present.
Be present.
Yes, Be Present is another very popular one that I've unfortunately picked up.
So
and
how
used
do you
frequently.
still what kind of like do you get worried when you haven't done anything uncomfortable in a few weeks?
Well, that's not a problem for me because every day is uncomfortable.
But there's a difference between doing uncomfortable things that you're comfortable with. Like, for instance, stand-up comedy is an uncomfortable thing that that I'm comfortable with.
Yep. But not always. You're not always comfortable.
No, but I've never panicked about a stand-up comedy show in the last 3 years for more than, let's say, an hour before.
Okay, but then there is the phenomenon of bombing.
Absolutely. And you're always susceptible to the bomb. But
Yeah.
bombing now, like really doing poorly on a show, is only relevant if the show is relevant. Like if I actually bomb and I don't know anyone there and it's a small show,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. It only matters when there's stakes to it.
Yeah, no, I hear that. But I mean, that's the same for everything in life. Only if the stakes are big does the bombing matter.
I would say that in comedy, it's really forcing myself to do material that I find actually kind of uncomfortable, that I think is riskier, that I think is actually like not edgy for the sake of edgy, but edgy for me anyway, like to make myself seem unattractive and like I have complicated, weird thoughts and stuff like that.
But there is no great comedy that is not about discomfort.
Absolutely.
None. I remember a woman telling me at UCB, who'd been there for years and was very funny. She said the reason why female comics don't make it, whatever, is because they refuse to look ugly, which I thought was one of the most interesting comments I've ever heard about the phenomena of women in comedy.
Wow.
Because I think it's true. I think, you have to be willing to look ugly.
She loved those comments about you.
Yeah. And you have to deal with uncomfortable material. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, like, for you, like, you do so many crazy things, but I would say aren't those a lot of things that are uncomfortable things that you're comfortable with? Like, are you not comfortable going for a weird audition and being completely naked in an audition now?
Well, see, the irony is I have no discomfort there.
Yeah.
None.
So
Because I have nothing to lose.
Right. So
I mean,
where
at
do you
this point-
find discomfort still?
Life makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is why I should be, on something like Lexi, as you call it.
Sexy Lexi. Yeah.
Sexy Lexi. I guess I've just always been so terrified of flatlining.
Yeah.
I don't mean actual death, but yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people who are flatliners. They just... They're okay people. They're just fucking boring,
Yeah.
I mean, they never step over into the precipice. For me, every day is a precipice, It's a good thing I get up. It's a major thing that I make it through. Which I think is why I miss actually doing comedy. I mean, having done it for the short time that I did, it is an experience that is unlike anything else in life. I'm convinced that it is. Because... it's what life is all about. The comfort, the euphoria, the despair, the laughter, the fact that most of it comes from tears, from tragedy, from being all fucked up, from damage. I don't know any other art that does it in a way where you can actually watch it happen. I mean, writing is about all of those things, but it's reading, which is a passive thing. Now, that's another thing people should do more of, is read.
Oh, yeah. Can you explain the phenomenon of performative reading?
Well, I don't do it, but I certainly notice those who do. I'd love to know who invented this. I mean, it's much better and healthier than swallowing dishwasher pods, which TikTok also started. I just think that it's ridiculous and hilarious. It's what's the point? Is it to look like you're somebody who's intelligent? Is it showing off? Is it flexing? It's stupid. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
But hilarious.
But do you believe that people are actually doing it?
Absolutely.
Like, you think people are actually, like, they know fully what they're doing. They sit on the subway, they have their glasses, the nice scarf, and then they open the book fully knowing that they never advance in the book. Like, so much so that they would almost, if possible, put a cell phone inside the book.
And cheat, you mean?
And cheat. And
no, I think the idea of it is not that. I think the idea is to sit there, frozen solid, on the same motherfucking page.
Yeah.
And... pretend something.
Like in their heads, they
But-
know they're pretending.
Well, they also know they're being looked at. I mean, that's why it's called performative.
Right.
I think, right?
I can't get myself in the mindset of someone that would truly do it purely 100% performative. I think there's a lot of people who just read who aren't actually reading, but they always think that they're going to read, but then
they hope. You mean
they just
hope they're
that
going to read?
They'll start figuring out how to be interested in a book.
That-
Because like the thing is, who's it for? If you go on a date because some woman's like, wow, that's a hot guy reading, and then you go on a date, don't
Yeah.
you think at some point the woman's going to be like, how was Huck Finn?
It doesn't. It's irrelevant.
Or
Because
do you
all that
think that
matters
the,
is
the woman will be
instant.
like, which book do you use on the subway?
That's right.
And then they found each other?
Exactly. I think that would be a perfect question. But the only reason that I know it's true, because when I first heard it sort of just out there in the ether, I really didn't believe it. But, I was having, lunch with Azir. And they said, turn around and look, Brenda. Because I had said, wow, look at them. They're gorgeous. And they're not speaking and they don't have their phones out. It's so encouraging. And they said, well, no, it's not encouraging because it's not real. They're not reading. This is performative reading. And I'd never heard of it.
As a couple.
As a couple.
That's a completely different thing. I don't understand why anyone does anything if it's not for getting laid.
Well, this was two women. Not that should be relevant.
So they were probably trying to get laid.
No, I don't. At a coffee shop at Maman.
They wanted to look good. They wanted to.
Well, yes, that's the thing. They wanted to look good.
Right.
They wanted to look good. That's a very sexist thing to say, actually.
What?
Because I don't think that men are any less interested in getting laid than women are. So if they're reading,
I
it's even
think
more
that both of
obvious.
them are morons, the men and the women,
That's
but the
it,
men are
morons.
doing it more. The women are doing it more so because they want to look good. The men are looking good because they want to get laid. I mean, they're two sides of the same moron coin.
I think we're devoting way too much time to the stupidest aspect of
Have you ever
modern
caught
culture.
someone doing it?
Well, those two who were, then my eyes were opened. Now I take the train and, hey.
No one's flipping pages?
And
You're
no
never
one,
hearing
but there are those who are not flipping pages. And it's just like, wow,
Yeah.
what a world I live in. What a crazy fucking world I live in.
Do you remember that we were talking to that professor who was saying that that there's actually a TikTok trend of his really hard class where people are like TikToking about getting through these really long books, but they're actually getting through them. They're like, challenge, can I read Moby Dick in 3 days? But
I vaguely remember.
But they actually do it. Like the TikTok challenge is to actually read it.
Well, that's fabulous. I hope that they have billions of followers, whoever is doing that, is all I can say. Because I have not seen that on TikTok, reading Moby Dick in 3 days. Did you see that picture that I posted? You probably didn't.
No.
Of the men's club.
Yes.
Oh, my God. How
Incredible.
Fabulous.
Incredible.
Was that?
You love men's clubs.
Well, I mean, I'm fascinated that they still exist.
I'm not saying you love them like you want to be admitted
I
or
would
something.
never say that out loud, that I love a men's club, because they're abhorrent as an institution, okay? They've held women back for generations, not to mention anyone who's Jewish or Catholic or, But
Well, I mean,
that's
there's
the
one
most
of those
beautiful-
things that I have a problem with.
What?
Holding people back, and it's not the women.
Okay. What is it?
Well, the Jewish.
Yeah, yes, of course. Well, they have no clubs. No, I'm kidding. A terrible thing to say. But that was the most beautiful locker room I have ever seen in my entire life. Ever.
And you were saying these guys will eat lunch naked in this.
Yep.
So it's a super fancy club, but
It's the fanciest club in New York.
and what's it called? Or you're not
going to give
you're
you
not
the
going to
name.
reveal
No,
the name.
no,
Okay.
no.
We're talking $100,000 a year or something like that, or just that it's
we're
impossible
also
to get
talking,
into.
Where it's you get in because your father and your grandfather were in before you. They obviously take some new members because they need the money. But the point is, these are men who are so comfortable because they've been so comfortable for generations in terms of money and lifestyle, as you call it, and wives, that, they don't need to wear underpants. You could put that in, actually. Literally, they and it doesn't matter how old they are, young, old, they're just all nude. They're all naked. And they sit at those beautiful, mahogany desks down there that you might have noticed with the mirror. I mean, I just think it's splendid as a once upon a time thing that shouldn't exist anymore. I even love the fact
It's
that
a real life time capsule.
It is. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's a time capsule. I mean, the fact in this age that we live in now that you are still escorted into that room with the word strangers above it if you're not a member. I mean, can you imagine?
I know.
And like...
Strangers, lames, and halts.
Exactly. Strangers, the lames, and the halts. There probably are
Maybe
a lot of
halts
lames and
means
halts
Jews.
in this. I don't think it means Jews. Anyway, I guess, yes. I guess I love it because it's not going to be around for probably too much longer. And because, to tell you the truth, I find them less abhorrent than sitting in a restaurant next to a table full of fucking finance bros who are drinking and screaming and talking about their sex lives. And I do. I would rather, you know what I mean, that it was restricted to
I'm
a
sorry.
locker
So now
room.
I've got a good one for you.
There you go.
So do you feel like finance bros are worse now than they've ever been?
Well, I don't think they ever... I don't know. The truth is I don't know. I think that they behave the way finance bros do publicly, privately. They drank like crazy. They did insanely.
You mean back in the days?
Selfish, yes. I mean, the
So you think now...
Kennedy family is a good example of that.
So you think finance bros were always bad, but they used to be more private about it?
Well, I mean, they're bad in the sense that they're so self-satisfied and that they live in a tiny little world. Like anyone who lives in a bubble becomes intolerable.
Right.
But they would not go into a restaurant with other humans and behave like I see people. I mean, the strip house is full of finance bros, too, who are just showing off all the time. You know what I'm saying? Asking for a bottle of wine that costs $7,000 motherfucking dollars when they've probably never been to France. I mean, that's the most snotty comment I've ever made.
But you schlep to France. You don't go to France like they do.
No, I don't.
You go in the back of in the luggage compartment.
Practically.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind moving up, okay? Wouldn't mind moving up to a pod.
With
Daniel.
amenities?
Exactly. With all those fucking amenities. Absolutely.
All right. I'll allow you to leave, but just in the way we end every episode, what's something you would recommend people do this week for self-care?
No, we don't ever end every fucking episode talking. Self-care, take off the frickin' earphones, shut up the phone, the GPS, and leave your apartment. You know, go to a restaurant at 9 o'clock and pound on the door. I don't know.
All right. Goodbye.